Hey folks, here on All In with Bryan Weatherford, we have the pleasure of interviewing plenty of people in a variety of different industries. And one of the things that I think is really cool is when we get to have someone in studio with us that worked for the same company, did the corporate deal for a long time, like in this case, a long time, multiple decades, to the point that they learned so many things, got to travel the world, learned a lot of things, and decided, you know what, time for me to get out on my own, use this knowledge. I've worked really hard making rich people richer. I want to try to do it for myself. Don't mean to put all those words in his mouth. We'll let him do it himself. Our guest today here on All In, Mr. James Bement. His company is Hydraulic Systems LLC. James, welcome to the show today,
nice
sir.
Nice to be here, Bryan. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming in with us today. It's nice to have people here in studio during this Zoom world that we live in.
Right.
So appreciate you coming up.
Great to get out.
So you're a Texas guy, but your company's located down in the Woodlands, up by Houston.
Yeah, Woodlands, Texas.
Way out west in Midland.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into it a little bit. You did the corporate thing for a while?
Yes, sir. About 38 years total industry experience. About 35 of that was in the corporate environment.
And that would, when you say industry experience, we're talking the oil and gas industry.
Oil and gas, yes, sir. Predominantly everything that we did.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So
but I worked for one of the big companies. I worked in several segments. So I had, to your point, a lot of diversity in my background.
Sure.
And just a great opportunity. But I loved your intro. It's about time to do something for yourself, right?
Maybe I'm speaking for me through you. We can talk more off
right.
air. So it had to be fascinating, though, because that industry, obviously, it's international. Did you get to travel a lot in your career?
Around the world many times. Never left anything there, so it's always good to come home.
Yep, always good to come home, especially when home is Texas. I'll get off of that right now.
Right.
All right, so you got your own thing now. Hydraulic. When did you decide, I'm going for it, I'm going to start my own company?
Well, I didn't start it. I met with some partners,
okay,
and they asked me to come in and be president and CEO. And it's been a great partnership. Really enjoy those guys. I came on right at the end of 2018, which unfortunately was right at the turn.
Yeah.
Things started turning early 19 in the industry, and so we've had to adjust.
Good word.
And address the challenges that we have, but we've got a great solid team. We're doing some things a little different, and I think we create a lot more value than certainly our competitors. And I think that's really what we're about. Our hydraulic power has been around for thousands of years.
Certainly.
And I think a lot of people don't understand how close by it is. Big equipment, cruise ships, airplanes. Presses that make thousands of products. So hydraulics are all across. And our value proposition is power to move your world.
Oh, I like that one.
And that's what my team is focused on is.
So your team, your company these days, you're not specifically in the oil and gas industry, right? You've been able to spread out a little bit?
Well, we have diversified. We still have our core business really around services right now, supporting rigs. Not as many of them as there was.
Not quite as many rigs as there used to be, but still,
right.
It's important.
We have great clientele. We work for several of the Tier 1 rig contractors and have a great relationship. We help design, install, and basically integrate and verify the hydraulic systems for several of the rigs that they built. In fact, the company has built probably 600 more rigs over their history and done the installations and verifications, et cetera. So,
well, and a big part when you're talking something like that is just the general maintenance. Not just when something breaks all of a sudden and you have to fix it, but is there is it a general maintenance where you have contracts to where so often you're just going in to do this, so it doesn't break?
Right.
Yeah, preventive maintenance, I guess.
Right. I think that's where we're really trying to grow and expand is helping our customers understand number one, the importance of preventive maintenance, but also looking more at the predictive maintenance. Because today, any downtime from operations is hugely expensive. And so working on the preventive side, for example, 75% of hydraulic failures really come from fluid contamination or excessive heat. Those seem like fairly simple things, but the preventive side is just routine, no different than you would with your car, get your oil changed, filters, things like that. But going a step beyond that And going through the system, looking for hot spots with temperature probes, and then also with flow meters, checking the flow, allows us to identify potential areas in the hydraulic system across the rig or across a plant that we need to be aware of. So instead of waiting till there's a failure,
sure, yeah,
potential loss of operation revenue, or even a remediation problem if you've spilled oil because of a leak.
Yes.
Is getting ahead of that and working with them on developing a preventive maintenance plan and a predictive maintenance plan that allows them to really manage their costs. You know, they can predict, they can plan when they're going to repair something.
I tell you what, James, what it sounds like to me, the novice that knows nothing about your industry, this is just a mega version of the age-old pay me now or pay me later thing.
Right.
Right.
Well, like I said, 38 years of experience in this, and it's all about value creation.
Sure.
And know your value and demonstrate your value, and I think that's what we really excel at. You know, I like to call my team the savvy hydraulic partner.
Okay.
I've got some, our team is probably 10, 15-year average experience. They come from a broad background of hydraulics, whether it be from the marine side, the rig space, the industrial space. So they all bring something to the table. And like I said, collectively, they've done a phenomenal job, and our customers really lean on them. You know, it's interesting, troubleshooting. You know, when I first got there, we started breaking down some of what's our common service calls, and et cetera, and troubleshooting. And it was real quick that troubleshooting was usually just minutes on location. And I said, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It was predominantly human error.
Whoa.
And so having people that know to look for human error first,
Right.
you know, don't try to explain things to me, just let me look things over.
Yeah.
And that's what I think our customers have really learned to appreciate. Sometimes it's embarrassing.
Well,
But many times it's like, you just saved me a ton of money.
well, that's what I was going to say, because
Right.
maybe other companies don't look for that first.
Right.
And they automatically, it's got to be this or this or this or this. Well, meanwhile, the root of the problem is sitting over here off to the side.
Root of the problem, that's a great lead in, because a lot of times you can have a failure here, but the root cause that caused that failure downstream was something that's, you know, not operating correctly upstream. Having a savvy team, they know to look for that too. It's not about let's just fix this, because if we walk away, it's going to continue, because the real root of the problem was upstream or downstream from the system that's putting more stress on that.
You know, I got to say,
part.
James, your whole background, I've got about a minute and a half left, but your whole background in this industry leads me to believe you've seen a lot of changes. And so as we keep moving forward, where are we, Dave, briefly with robotics and automation today versus 30-something years ago when you started?
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. So everyone, for several reasons, obviously efficiency, elimination of human error,
Okay.
and then from a safety perspective, are looking at either robotics or automation to be able to eliminate those challenges. You know, it's 110 degrees right now in West Texas. The automation side of that doesn't really need that drink of water or that break.
No.
And so having a partner that understands the integration of electronics and controls into a hydraulic system is really where I think we excel and where we have a differentiator.
Well, and also, as we discussed earlier, the hundreds, I'm going to do the math, the hundreds of years of experience that your team brings to the table.
That's correct.
You've seen it all, you know,
sir.
but you never stop learning. You know,
No.
that's a key. You never stop learning. You're always there for the best interest of your partners, of your staff, of your crew, and frankly, of your customers as well.
And you've got to learn to adapt. I mean, I think all of us have been challenged with COVID-19.
COVID's everything, and I wish I had more time to get in it, but in a nutshell, I'm guessing the travel aspects, restraints through COVID had to be an impact on you guys.
Well, telemed has worked for the medical industry.
Yep.
Check out Teletech.
Teletech?
We have that to go to our website, or
There you
just
go.
call our 24/7 hotline.
Give these guys a shot, man. This is a guy that's leading a team of hundreds of years of experts in this field. James, thanks for being with us today on
Bryan,
All In.
thanks so
Appreciate
much.
it. Folks,